After Ukraine, we moved to Serbia and to Belgrade, and we welcome Verica Krstic from the University of Belgrade, who is assistant professor and who has worked a lot about the theoretical setting of residential architecture. And of course, we know the New Belgrade School of Planning, which is also very famous, and you will talk about the evolving patterns of multifamily housing in New Belgrade. So, Verica.
Thank you very much, Uta, and thank you all for coming today. It is my pleasure to introduce you the case study of New Belgrade, a famous Yugoslavian settlement. There were many large-scale settlements all over the old Yugoslavia, but this specific New Belgrade, or Novi Beograd, as we say in Serbian, is... sorry? Closer? Okay. I used to speak without microphone, sorry. Well, the New Belgrade was remarkable for urban development, or Belgrade, a capital of Serbia, but anyway, it was like ideological project, a state project, not just an settlement. Next slide, please. Next, yeah. Well, New Belgrade area today is a large area in Belgrade also. As you see here, this is the area of New Belgrade, but this specific part is developed in social area. The microphone. Yeah. This part, central by the river. There are two rivers in Belgrade, Danube and Sava, and just at the beginning of this century, there was a bridge built from New Belgrade to northern part of the Serbia called Vojvodina. And it was kind of first time when New Belgradians can go to the north without going to the old town first. Next slide, please. Well, New Belgrade transformation is a part of social context transformation, also transformation of economy and technological context, and ecological awareness of New Belgrade character. So the development start in 1920s and 30s, and after the Second World War, it was rapid urbanization and development of New Belgrade, and after the dissolution of the Yugoslavia in 90s, there was a like new transitional period for New Belgrade, and I would like to compare these two plans, I think in maybe 1960s and then nowadays. Next slide, please. This diagram shows the development of this central part of New Belgrade. First picture shows us the mainly housing projects built in the 70s. Then during the 80s, development of the large blocks. The specific dimension of these blocks is like 900 times 600 meters. And there are large settlements, housing blocks, but with healthcare center, community center, kindergarten, schools, and everything needed for these large neighborhoods. And after 90s and at the beginning of 200. There was a rapid urbanization and development of New Belgrade, as I will show in my next slide, please. But for a start, I want to explain the socialist context of the development of such a large housing area. It was like many stakeholders involved in this project. We have faculty and institute that was involved in development and designs of these housing blocks. They are mainly won at the competitions, architectural and urban competitions. They were separate. First, there was a competition for urban design, and after that, a competition for architectural design. There are stakeholders like Yugoslavian army and such large firms that developed, built those settlements, and municipalities that were developed. Anyway, next slide, please. At the beginning, New Belgrade was a swamp, and first 9 blocks were built. Next, please. It was like work power, you know. People were built all over the Serbia, where came to New Belgrade to build this area. There was students' actions. They were coming to Belgrade as a working force for this large project. Next slide, please. And the first blocks were built. Just as we saw in several showcases before, they were developed somewhere in the swamp, but the rapid urbanization starts afterwards. Next slide, please. Next. And these are some of the main 9 blocks in the New Belgrade. There are large concrete blocks with brutalist architecture. Some of them are very famous, and now they are researched in many papers, in many PhD theses, and also we had in, I think, 4 years ago, a big exhibition in New York Museum of Modern Art about settlements built in Yugoslavia during the socialist period. Next slide, please. When we think of New Belgrade, we always, our first thought is on Belgrade School of Architecture that was developed in the 70s. There was 10 points of Belgrade School of Architecture, and I think nowadays we still teach them at the faculty as a part of our legacy, but also as a part of contemporary rethinking how to design multifamily housing. Next slide. Within the periodization, the socialist period is a third period of the development of Belgrade School of Architecture. And it is very important for our tradition also. It becomes a part of our heritage. So anyway, it is a heritage, but still we are re-examining it very much. Next slide, please. These are some examples of apartments from New Belgrade. The dining in the extension area, like it was marked on this slide, was a very important topic back then. Next slide, please. And also circulation within the apartment. Apartments with 2 centers, also a very important topic. Next, please. And it was not just a question of rapid urbanization, it is also a question of ideology. And New Belgrade was like part of the idealistic building of the society, not just the estates. Next slide, please. There are some blocks developed and inspired by traditional architecture, as you can see in those sketches in the middle. Next slide. We had plenty of texts that architects wrote back then. I will finish. Yeah. Next, please. Next. And regarding those ecological aspects, here you can see some blocks built in 1970s, and now in 222. You can see the last slide with the block West 65 and block 45. All blocks has a number. And next slide, I will just finish with this. These are, the first one is on this picture, and this one is the last one. So you can see how this rapid urbanization used the infrastructure that Belgrade has, but came with a solution that abandoned everything that left from modernist period. And that's it. Thank you very much.